I ain't gonna give in now, I just gotta live this now. I be gonna be man, I'ma kill this stuff real quick. I'ma go take it to town, cause I gotta be that king in the ring when I'm knocking them out when I'm back with the whip. Cause I am just up on the journey, you just know that I'm just going insane.
Warriors, rise. Hey, what's up, Warriors? It's Coach JB and one of our best friends here at the Warrior Academy, Ray. We're going to be diving into a big announcement for Linqto. We're going to be chalking it up about the Apex conference and some new companies that have hit the Linqto platform. First of all, I want to share with you guys light, love, and positivity. We appreciate you guys so much. And I want to share with you guys why we're such a big fan of Ray. Not only Ray, but Linqto. Ray lights up the room everywhere he goes. If you saw him at the Apex conference, just that smile, the vibration, the frequency, and we're all about the 5 people you hang out with is who you're going to end up being the frequency of, which is really, really important. So as we go through these conversations, I want you to think about something really importantly. As you raise your frequency and vibration, as we go into this brand new world, right? I want you to think about this. This is the greatest time in human history. I'm going to repeat that. This is the greatest time in human history. Now, in the physical world, it may not feel like that with gas prices going through the roof, interest rates about to go up with the FOMC meeting on Wednesday. So strap your seatbelts on. It's coming. They're trying to cool down inflation. It's going to be a different world that we're heading into, right? So a lot of people financially are going to start to struggle, but that doesn't mean you have to struggle here or struggle here. Now, the most important thing is to keep your frequency as high as humanly possible. So we want to bring on companies that are doing big things within the ecosystem and share those wins with you guys. Because if you learn one thing from me, is if you're going to run with me, if you're my friend, when you're winning, I'm going to clap for you. And when I fall down, I expect you to put your hand out for me. That's how we run here in the Warrior Academy. So anytime a warrior is winning, we're clapping. And anytime a warrior is down, we're all kneeling down, picking them up. That's what this is all about, Warriors. So I'm really excited to have Ray. He's one of my best friends here in the ecosystem of XRP, the cryptocurrency space, and just a friend in general. And I want to say thank you, Ray, for all the light, love, and positivity you bring to this world. It's just absolutely amazing. So we're going to just chalk it up today. So I want to have a conversation with you. We're going to start bringing him on more frequently as much as we can grab onto him. He's becoming a celebrity out there in the community now. But I want to make sure that we grab onto you. And we want to share a big announcement with Linqto. So Linqto has hit some huge milestones. Now, why do we want to share this announcement? What Linqto has done has democratized private financing. What is my whole platform about? Remember, I am not against anybody. So if anybody's watching this, I'm not against anybody. I'm about helping people become the best version of themselves. So when you see companies that democratize private financing, giving access to more people to these companies that are going to change the world, I'm all about it. 100% all about it. That's what we've done at the Warrior Academy. I left banking, not against banking. I'm not against the system. I'm not against anybody. What I am against is someone telling me how I can live my life and how I can raise my family and how I can become free in the greatest country in the world and the greatest earth on this world. So I want to share we'll start out with the announcement of what Linqto's milestones they hit. And we're going to jump into a couple companies that have hit the platform recently. And I want to pick your brain on Apex. We have a lot of Ripple people on here. We both got to experience Apex, which I walked away bullish on Ripple like you wouldn't believe. I mean, it kind of really made me just clear all the noise in my head. We'll dive into that in just a moment. So Ray, how's life? How's the family? How are you, my friend?
Coach, thank you for the warm introduction. And before I start, I just want to say thank you for the opportunity to hop on your show. I do expect this to be a reoccurring event. And always, when we meet, maybe virtually or in person, there's always something to take away, maybe to be or that I learned from you, maybe to be a better friend, a better colleague, leader, just an all around a good person. So again, thank you so much, sir. Yeah, there's a lot going on in this space. I'd love to just talk about some Linqto milestones. But for those of you in the audience, Linqto is an investment platform that not only empowers individual accredited investors such as ourselves with direct access to high quality private market opportunities, but that's not all we do, Coach. I'm sure you're aware, but we also provide investors with a faster path to liquidity. And what I mean by that is no longer do early seed investors or angel investors need to wait for the company that they had invested in to exercise the liquidity event. They can actually utilize Linqto as a vehicle for offloading high quality and hard to reach private market shares for instant liquidity. Now, this is huge for 2 reasons, Coach. One is this market has been basically illiquid since its inception. until Linqto came along, and now investors can instantly recalibrate their investment portfolios, realizing their gains generated from companies which they had invested in earlier on in the growth phase, in order to potentially redeploy that capital in a new investment opportunity on Linqto's platform. You know the drill, coach. Buy low, sell high, or at least higher than your entry point is, and rinse repeat. So that's what we've got going under the hood at Linqto. At Linqto, we invest our own money in the secondaries market, so we're not a broker matching buyer to seller. We become principals in every asset on our platform. So every company that you see when you scroll down our platform, actually, do you see is my illustration on?
There you go. Yep.
There we go. So to my left is our technology-enabled investment platform. So we convert our positions in all these private companies into SPVs and open up the offerings to our Linqto members. Now, we only make a small percentage available to our investors, with minimum investments typically in the ballpark of $10,000. Even as low as $5,000. Coach, for instance, today we're running a special, which I'll get into in just a second. But at Linqto, we don't charge management fees, no due diligence fees, no carried interest. The price you see is the price you pay on our platform, which is seamless with its simple point, click, and invest interface. So this is something that we are extremely proud of. We'd like to say that we've democratized access to this particular asset class, because as a retail investor, such as ourselves and many of our audience members, Coach, it would typically take us hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not millions, to get a seat at the cap table. Since launching our platform in 2020, we've generated, and now this is the big milestone that I'm so thrilled about. We've generated over 150 million in total investments, over more than 10,100 transactions since 2020. Now, this milestone was just reached over the weekend. We've experienced a 10x year-over-year growth in revenue. So we're very proud, like I said, of what we're doing. But I'm not here to talk about and boast Linqto, nor am I here to talk about the SEC versus Ripple summary judgment motions, which you and Ken Mack went into the weeds earlier in the show, and I really just soaked it up. So you guys did a great job. Thank you so much. But I do want to talk about two products available on our platform, and that's Figment and Blockdaemon, two companies that two companies deploying the foundational plumbing in the blockchain-based economy in order to support an institutionalized framework. So these are the two companies that I believe are instrumental as we slowly inch closer and closer to a regulated industry and asset class. So as I pull up these two slides, let me move to the next one. Perfect. Awesome. So Figment is a Canadian-based blockchain infrastructure company with crypto, which also provides crypto staking. So Figment develops back-end systems and infrastructure that provides yield on tokens for, I want to say, for approximately 60 plus proof of stake blockchain networks, including Avalanche, Cardano, Ethereum, Solana, and many more. So Figment is seeing approximately 10 million in revenue per month, with a projected revenue around 100 million for 2022. This is just these are monstrous figures. So Figment generates their revenue by staking a cut from all staking revenues that they generate through their network. So to reiterate, Figment deploys staking solutions for premier blockchain networks. They have a deep expertise and commitment to Web3 ecosystems, and their platform is considered to be a command center, trusted by all industry leaders globally. Now let me switch gears to Blockdaemon. Perfect. Blockdaemon is a neighbor to me. Blockdaemon is a Los Angeles-based blockchain company which provides node infrastructure to transact, stake, scale, and deploy nodes with institutional-grade security monitoring. By providing node infrastructure, Blockdaemon provides critical groundwork used in staking, which means, these guys, I don't know if you guys know what, I'm sure you know what nodes are, Coach, and so I'm certain some of your audience members do, because I want to say it's Node Defender or a few specialists in your community. But nodes basically help validate blocks and are used to stake coins. They also add records of transaction, manage blockchains, and even scale blockchains. So Blockdaemon is the #1 institutional staking provider by volume. They've made 4 strategic acquisitions in the past 2 years. So to your tune or your conversation with Ken Mack about right now being we're entering, let's just say, a hardening market where basically the market's going to be picking winners and losers. And then with that being said, you're going to probably see winners consolidate and acquire some of the smaller fish. And that's exactly what Blockdaemon's done. They've made 4 acquisitions in the past 2 years. So
Yeah.
I just thought that was pretty aligned with what you were talking about earlier today.
One
And
thing I was going to ask you a
mhm,
question real quick. If we back up, so the
sure.
Blockdaemon, yeah, it's so interesting in the markets, right? What's going to have? This is my opinion, right? I'll share this is my opinion, not financial advice, but what I believe is going to happen, it's going to be a Google and Amazon type moment where it just what happened to .com boom, right? .com, all these thousands of tech companies came out, internet companies, and all of a sudden they got monopolized by the bigger companies. So the
Yeah.
thing that I'm looking at is balance sheets, like what companies have strong balance sheets, leadership teams. Do they have the right lawyers to get through regulation and understand it? Because I mean, I'm doing a video tomorrow with one of Jeremy Hogan, not with Jeremy Hogan. I'm still trying to get him on here, but Jeremy Hogan, if you're out there, we'd love to have you on here. But
Jeremy Hogan is actually an investor on our platform.
oh, nice! I wouldn't
Yeah.
doubt it. He's an amazing human being, and I just love not only his humor, his kindness, and just like he's just a good dude. And so,
Did you check out his show yesterday or his presentation on the briefs?
yes, it's so intriguing. I mean, and the thing that he was talking about is, I love how he said, take a deep breath. It's like, because everybody's freaking out that all of their XRP is going to be a security and it's going to be this worthless token, right? And it's the whole thing has always been about. I've been preaching this since it came out. It's about this moment in time in 2017 that it was sold. But again, I tell the people that go against XRP or Ripple or this maximalist stuff that I don't dislike. It's just like left and right. I just don't like that.
Yeah.
Whatever happens with XRP in this case is going to happen to the whole crypto market. So it's like everybody should be paying attention to this case. And again, on the other hand, it's like it is going to hopefully, I'm not saying that we won't get into that, but it's supposed to protect investors from rug pulls. And because we've seen a lot of people get rug pulled recently, we've seen people lose thousands. I had a person just recently lost $100,000 in a rug pull. That was their life savings. Ouch. And so there's two sides to every token, no pun intended, every coin, right? And we'll get into Apex and stuff like that. And so thank you for bringing up Blockdaemon and Figment. And these are things that you guys can go on Linqto's platform as well. You also have Linqto. You can get into Linqto pre-IPO. You can get into Ripple. There's so many different companies. My favorite thing about Linqto is the market insights, man.
Oh, absolutely. Well, real quick, Coach, before we shift off from these two private companies, I do want to make note that today we are running a promo that if you invest in either of the two companies, Blockdaemon and Figment, or even the third, Ripple, we've actually lowered the investment minimums to, and let me just switch gears. This is just on Blockdaemon. We got Figment. I'm sure your community already knows it's familiar with Ripple. So if you go head on over to, or actually if you click on the link embedded in the description of Coach's video, takes you over to our website. You'll see that on our platform, we've reduced the investment minimums for Ripple, Blockdaemon, and Figment to $5,000. And if you invest in one or three of them, Linqto is going to give you back $1,000 regardless. So if you invest in all three, Linqto will give you $1,000 back in Linqto bucks to use as a savings towards your next investment. So I think that's it's very timely, and due to the developments of this case, I think it's going to be a little bit harder to get our hands on shares for Ripple. So I do recommend if anybody's on the fence or thinking about swinging away, I suggest doing your research and taking a peek at our website. We've got some life-changing products and services.
Yeah, and my favorite part too is not only the investments, but the market insights with the Mosaic score on there. Really looking deeply on how you look at companies. And so I want to back up to something you said in the beginning about, so for example, if I'm an investor and I invest in a company, I can come to your platform with my investment and put it on there and see if that's something that you guys would purchase to kind of like bring it down to an elementary level. Like you were talking about, if somebody had invested in another company, they could bring it to your platform to see if the Linqto would buy it, right? Is that what you're talking about?
In a way, correct. So we have an originations team with a deep bench of individuals, professionals that are coming from traditional and emerging finance. And so what they're doing is scanning the marketplace, either taking recommendations from our own Linqto community, or of course doing their own due diligence and seeing what's going on with some emerging companies within this sector and others. We're not just digital asset focused. We have health tech, we've got food tech, we've got aviation or automated drones. So I mean, you can look at we've got I want to say plus 10 different verticals that you could potentially position yourself in addition to digital assets. So with Blockdaemon, Figment, and Ripple, I can confidently say that these are more of your digital asset blockchain native plays. And so, and some might even consider Blockdaemon and Figment to be competitors, and because they're both deploying institutional grade infrastructure or node systems for scaling and those types of services. But for me, people might say, well, why would you invest in? Which one should I invest in, Ray? Well, I can't make that decision for you. But for me, since I'm also an accredited investor with a portfolio myself, because I first came to know Linqto and love Linqto as a customer, my investment philosophy was, why not split the baby into, especially right now, since the investment minimums are only $5,000 rather than 10, you don't need to put 10 all isolated on one. You can split the baby, put 5 and 5, and then even get $1,000 back in Linqto bucks that's if you invest in the platform or on one of the products today. So that's where I was. That's my personal investment philosophy. So that's not Linqto pushing anything.
Awesome. And there's a question here. So when is Linqto doing micro investments? Is that
really great question, because I know that's on our roadmap to. And I apologize for not knowing the specific. If it's a Reg D or Reg A license, but basically it would be similar to a product that's a crowdsourcing type of product, like let's just say GoFundMe, where it's still the same companies on our platform. It's just packaged in a compliant fashion that's standardized and appropriate for those microtransactions. Now, when is that going to happen? I'm not certain. Right now, I know our focus at Linqto is to release our ATS platform, our alternative trading system, which is going to basically provide our Linqto members with a sell feature. So now not only, and that's to the point of my earlier tune of where seed investors or angel investors no longer need to wait for a company, or even ourselves, accredited investors, don't need to wait for a company which they had put a position in to exercise a liquidity event like an IPO. You could potentially press the sell button right on our platform and sell the shares of the company that you invested in to fellow Linqto members. So I think that's that right there is something that we're going to be launching Q4 of this year. Specifically when, that's TBD, and I'm really excited for when we can.
That's cool. Another question.
Sure.
If you invest in Ripple, it's 5K minimum right now. Is that true?
That's correct. 5K Ripple, 5K Figment, 5K Blockdaemon. Those are and typically the investment minimum is $10,000. So right now is a 24-hour window of being able to get your hands on some of that Ripple private equity for sub 10.
Okay, and the reason why I looked up, so today is Monday, September 19th, 2022 for timestamp, just so you guys know, because that's 20. Want to make sure. So it's Monday.
Thanks, Coach.
Yeah, watching this, I'm looking. It's Monday, September 19th, 2022.
Yeah. So this promo in its Pacific Standard Time is our so this promo goes from 8 a.m. I believe Pacific Standard Time today, Monday, September 19th, and we'll conclude Tuesday, September 20th at 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So we're giving our I mean, you got to think remember, Coach, we're global, so we got to make sure that we're providing the same type of opportunities to everyone around the world. We're complying in I want to say 110 countries and counting. I mean, I want to say when I first came on board in January, we were around 90. So we've added another 20. We've doubled our total investments since January. I think when I onboarded, we were roughly around 80 million in total investments and sub 30,000 members. And today I want to say 60,000 plus, as mentioned, 110 countries, 10,000 plus transactions, 150 million in total member investments. So we're staying true to our name. Linqto private investing made simple, democratizing access to these hard to reach private market investment opportunities.
That's awesome. And then I don't know if you can answer this, but what are the fees for a 5K investment? Can you answer those?
Oh, yeah, absolutely, Coach. We don't charge any fees. I mean, no due diligence fees, no carried interest. Again, the price you see on our platform is the price you pay. Now, there might be, and I apologize for if I speak out of turn, but I believe let's just say, since one of our trusted partners is Uphold, and they're also a private company available on our platform as well for investing. So for those of you who might be XRP enthusiasts such as myself and yourself, Coach, I'm sure you're familiar with Uphold, because that's one of the only shops that's still selling XRP today within the United States. And so for me, I've grown a wonderful love for Uphold and their team and their products and services. And so where I'm getting at is Linqto's a partner with Uphold. We actually enable crypto holders to use their digital assets that are held on Uphold's platform, and then in order to diversify and use that liquidity in that crypto asset to invest on our platform. So not only do we accept wire transfers, IRA, but we also accept cryptocurrency payments using the Uphold application. Now, when we launch our ATS platform, we're also going to be launching our own wallet as well, which will allow our members to even fund their wallets. And I think it's also going to require that our members fund their wallets before they can even make the transaction. So that there's some things that we still need to iron out in order to disclose accordingly. But these are some of the fundamentals that I know that we're working with.
Awesome. And this is how quickly do you get confirmed as a accredited investor after submitting your paperwork?
Wow, really great question. Coach, it all depends. I mean, when I went through it, it took, I submitted my documents. I uploaded the necessary W-2s to satisfy one of the prongs of the accreditation requirements for U.S. citizens. Again, we're global, so the AI or accredited investor requirements do differ by jurisdiction or country, and so. If you're living outside the U.S., I strongly recommend you do your due diligence to see what are the accredited investor requirements of your local jurisdiction or where you live. And so, back to your question, if it could take 30 minutes, could take maybe a couple hours. It's all manually done by professionals to make sure that everything is compliant and done to a T. So, but I would say no more than a couple hours once you upload your docs. I mean, that's how long it took me. So, and then as soon as you receive that your certificate that says you are an accredited investor on Linqto platform, you can start investing immediately. And hope if there's anybody in the crowd, or excuse me, not the crowd, in the audience that would like or need any assistance or anything expedited, by all means, you can reach out. I'm Ray at Linqto, ray@linqto.com. Shoot me an email, and I can always pass you along to the appropriate representative to help expedite the process and get you to becoming an invested Linqto member. Yep.
Awesome. I'll answer this question. Can I buy 3T Warrior Academy? Well, not yet. Not yet, but we are launching a massive NFT project on XRPL coming very, very soon. The XRP King is coming. Not the Liver King, the XRP King is coming. I'll tell you that much. But all right, let's dive into it. So talking about XRPL, I want to talk about our experience at XRPL and how did you feel after leaving XRPL? What was your thoughts on the conference and Apex and all that?
Oh man, it was well, my overall experience with the XRPL Dev Summit was very intimate. There was probably no more than, including the Ripple staff and the production team, and even the Virgin hotel staff. I would say there was no more than 300 people, right? It just was very intimate. I've been to this year. I've been to 3 Bitcoin conferences. I've been to other Consensus, South by Southwest, and all these events cater to. I mean, Bitcoin conference, one of the biggest, had 30,000 people in one room, and everybody's looking at Max Kaiser throw, stuff at the crowd and energizing them in that fashion, and just flashing orange lights and stuff. And I asked, Linqto had a hosted event around that time in Miami, and attorney John Deaton came to the event to meet with some of the Linqto team members, or excuse me, with the Linqto invested members, our Team Apollo members. We like to host in-person events for our top investors. That's one of the perks that we provide to that community. And I asked John, I said, John, here we are, we have some of the smartest people here in this room with Linqto, right? And I'm not saying we're smarter than anybody else, but at all, no way am I inclining that. But it was just very interesting, because we just immediately left the Bitcoin conference, and it's like, we know here in here in this environment, John, we know the XRPL is superior than BTC for a plethora of reasons. It's more than just a storage of value. It can process, transactions 15, I want to say, I think I heard David Schwartz say 15,000 plus per second. Wasn't it something, unreal with minute fees, and now smart contracts are soon to become hopefully native to even the protocol or the ledger. So, I mean, they keep stacking on these new features. And meanwhile, BTC's, where I'm getting at is, I said, John, why do you think people are, what's the purpose of this BTC event? I mean, is this just the gateway? Like, is BTC the gateway to get us down this, to see where it takes us, maybe to whatever blockchain calls to us? I don't know. But regardless, it was like we agreed. It was almost like BTC was like this gateway towards this whole environment. Now it's up to us to do our own due diligence. So anyways, where I'm getting at is, I just felt like the people that were at the XRPL Dev Summit, it was almost like, you didn't just get an invitation to go to this. This wasn't marketed out to the greater whole world. This was just, you actually you needed to be within the community to even have heard about it. And so it was just really great to see yourself. DAI, Brad Kimes showed up. Who else did you have there? So many people that, from the community. David Schwartz was there. That was great to ask. Matt Hamilton was there as well. He's another phenomenal former Ripple employee. Now he's, I believe, working at he's doing something with Filecoin. I forget which company he's at, but he's same role, just at a different spot. And anyways, so it's just really great to see some of these most intelligent minds right there in front of you, having great personal conversations, and getting to know these people more than just looking at their avatar on Twitter and stuff like that. And so it was phenomenal. I left thinking it was, I'm almost pinching myself. It's like, how did I get here? And I mean, I know how I got here, but it's been a wonderful ride and a wonderful experience. And so I'm looking forward to the next one. Apex was for us, for Linqto, it meant more than just an event. It was an opportunity for us as well to show off some of the technologies that we're building on top of the XRPL as well. The next phase of Linqto is going to be an exchange for tokenized security assets, or security tokens for the products. We're basically going to be converting them from what they are right now, special purpose vehicles, into tokenized security assets. Please don't hold me to that specific name. I'm just telling you how I think that's where we're going. And so, yes, we've created a beautiful application that's going to be integrated onto the XRPL. And so to be a part of this is just phenomenal. And
Yeah, I feel the same. I keep telling people this, we're experiencing a piece of history. I mean, we really are. We're experiencing a piece of, that's how I felt when I sat there. And just to interact, anytime we had an XRP, we had a meet and greet one time, and then we had a conference, our first conference, our big conference. And just meeting the XRP community, it's just high frequency, high vibration, just really kind, loving people. I'm not saying anything about any other community. I haven't been to any conferences, but what I'm saying is, like, there's no like, oh, I hate this or I hate that. It's just like, hey, listen, we're just working together. We're sharing ideas, and the connections and the businesses that have been built from our conferences have been up. We've had 8 companies come out of our conferences.
Amazing, Coach.
And it's like what we're building on XRPL. And I can't wait. When I sat there and listened to some of these people way smarter than me, I'm just like, this is really cool, man, to be part of this and to be able to build on it. We're gonna build a massive community on XRPL.
Coach, don't cut yourself short, sir. Listening to you, Ken Mack, man, you guys are wizards. Yeah, you guys, you know what's going on, and way more. Most of your conversation went right over my head earlier, so kudos to you.
I think it's just, sometimes, it's interesting how that's what's beautiful about community. Let's go into that, because what community means is, like, for example, my brain works really weird. It takes pieces of conversations forward and backwards. I don't know if it's dyslexia, but my brain is like it puts together puzzle pieces. So I can hear something 3 years ago, and then boom, I'll study something now, and my brain goes boop, and it ties the pieces and it connects forward and backwards. And so I'm able to solve problems that way. If you ask me to write or spell, I can't do that. It's the weirdest thing. So my brain can see, I guess my brain can see patterns in myself and humans and things. And I can see when I sat in that Ripper XRPL, I can see a historical moves being made. You can feel it. Like when I was around David Schwartz, just listening to him speak, I was just absorbing. I mean, I didn't even, I got to talk to him for just a brief moment in time. And it was an honor because I'm really respect the man. And just watching him speak, and there's this guy is fluent. Boom, boom, boom. It's like a computer system in his head. This guy, probably one of the smartest people I've ever been around in my life. And I'm like, this guy, I'm impressed with him. And it was cool too, because it's a lot of his brain works different. It just does. And he's getting a lot of information dump, and he's like, I'm out. And then we tracked him down and we're holding him down. He stopped everything he was doing. He looked us in the eyes. He communicated. What I loved about it, when he was done, he's done. I'm like, I'm out. I just thought it was so cool. It was just neat to see. Like, I got to meet a lot of the Ripple staff members, just professional. And I'm not trying to, I have a broad portfolio, a very diverse portfolio, but I'm really big on companies. And that why I keep preaching this stuff to people is we have to look at just the broader market of what's happening within. We're going into a big recession, a huge recession, and small companies may not make it. They may not, whether it's crypto, whether it's a mom and pop shoe shop down the store. And so people really need to start to prepare and understand that the companies you work for and the things that you're invested in, you have to look at it and say, is this CEO innovative? Like, start watching, if they have investor meetings, watch their investor meetings, read their their quarterly, whatever you call I forget it's losing my brain there. When they give out quarterly reports and stuff, but make sure you read. Listen to their verbiage. Are they stuck in the old earth paradigm? Like the top 4 wealthiest people in the world have transitioned to more quantum. You got Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, and then you had a guy from India with a tech company that just flipped Jeff Bezos. The last person that's the 4th richest is Warren Buffett, and he's more gas and industry, things like that. But he's starting to make moves into that, Apple, Nubank, he's starting to make these transitions. And so I just see us going into this whole quantum field, right? Investments. You guys are democratizing private financing. We're democratizing the way people do their financing, right? And how people look at investments. And, when I was in banking, I'll just speak from my own perspective. I was a banker for 10 years. I was teaching what I was taught, parroted what financial education was. We didn't teach people how to do finances. We taught people how to get buried in debt. That's what we did. We didn't teach people anything about finances. We didn't teach them financial acumen, and only the very wealthy people had access to the proper education to help them continue and sustain that wealth, to pass that down. And there's this big gap in education. It wasn't like the wealthy were teaching the working poor and the working class how to get, because once I started learning this stuff, I'm like, wow, we all have access to this. Wow, we can all make moves. We can all do it. And then this whole cryptocurrency space came in, where I was able to get in at pre-IPO type prices, pre-ICO though, initial coin offering. I want to break that down for people too, because a lot of people are new watching the channel or new to crypto. If they found me on, a lot of people find me on TikTok. So they'll say things like, I'm brand new to this. So be very clear. What Linqto is doing is pre-IPO. That's a stock, and that's a security, correct? That's buying stock.
Absolutely.
The other one is pre-ICO. Like, it used to be a bunch of pre-ICOs where people were getting, people did very well. People got rug pulled, things like that. Initial coin offering, that's cryptocurrency, right? And I believe what's happening within the ecosystem is there's an opportunity for people, not financial advice, but people to get in at very low prices. You can buy VeChain at 6 cents. You can buy HBAR at 6 cents. 6 cents. Like, think about that. Like, a piece of gum is 6 cents. Like, you could cut out your coffee. Right now, in your lifetime, you could cut out your coffee addiction, $4 a day, do the math, and you could invest in something like, no, not financial advice, I'm just giving an example, 6 cents into HBAR every single month by replacing your coffee. And that has the potential to change your life. Like, that's how simple this is. Like, that literally could change. Or you could put it, 38 cents for XRP.
I think as of late, coach, now I have a crypto addiction. I need to replace it back with coffee.
Anyway, it just, once you realize, like, right now I'm having different. So, and remember, everybody, I'm okay saying this. I'm very open and honest. I was on my mom's couch 3 years ago. Now I'm making today. I look a little frazzled, because I'm making a financial decision today, and I'm like, I was sitting there, I almost got emotional, because I'm like, I'm making financial decisions now because I need tax breaks. When I was making financial decisions because I couldn't pay I couldn't pay to take a break. I was like, I couldn't even. Now I'm making financial decisions today where I need to make a big financial so I can not have a huge tax bill. And I did it in 3 years because all I did was start to change my acumen. I started not at my education, excuse me, which did change my acumen. And again, surrounding yourself. That's why I like bringing Ray on here to talk, because a lot of people be like, well, I'm not an accredited investor. That shouldn't be the first thing that comes to mind. I should say, I am on my way to become an accredited investor. I will become an accredited investor. I'm educating myself to become an accredited investor. It can happen that quickly. Your words matter. In the beginning was the word. Your words are so important as you build through this. And that's one thing I want to say about Apex too. I walked away from there with such a high frequency. It was like, I just wasn't, I was in an emotional state. My daughter was moving and it was like all this stuff going on, big.
Yeah, your daughter was there. That was great to meet her.
Yeah, she's amazing, man. She's actually we're on our way to moving her up to Washington. And I was in a really tough emotional state when I got there, and I almost didn't come just because it was just, she's my baby girl, man. She, it's like heartbreaking. We get there and it was just like, I think it was cool for her to see that too. Because I wanted her to see that, and she got to see, oh my gosh, no disrespect, the girl that does the Legos. I just forgot her name. She's amazing. She's so cool.
Rags.
Yeah, Rads. Yeah, Rads. Like Rags. She does
Rags.
I should pull her up. She does. So she builds these amazing. She built the Apex Lego thing.
She said the story where she was would be painting murals in the cold and had to wrap herself with rags, and I think that was her Ragsy.
Yes, that's it, Rags. And she was like talking to my daughter, and this is the type of stuff you'll experience at these conferences. I said, hey, can you talk to my daughter? And she looked at my daughter and she said, just keep getting no's. I mean, I have chills. Like, it was cool to see this, my daughter's very artistic like her. And she was like, just keep getting no's, keep getting no's, keep getting no's. She goes, because I went through all these no's and I got one yes that changed her whole career. And she goes, all the other no's didn't matter. She goes, but if I would have stopped at the second no or the third no or the fourth no, I'm paraphrasing what she said. I mean, I got chills. And she was just like, now she's a world-renowned artist. Selling NFTs like that. She'll put something out just for fun and it freaking sells out in like seconds, and it's like, and that's one thing for parents listening to this too, like really tap into your kids' creativity, like tap into it right now and try to open up your mind. Me and my daughter have had these great conversations because the whole ecosystem of how people work, how people interact, how people date is completely changing, right? And my daughter is doing an unorthodox plan. She's going up, just moving up to Washington. Her grandma lives there. She's working at a coffee shop, kind of decompress for a little bit. She's going to go work at an airline. She wants to be a travel influencer. And a parent would be like, oh, well, she needs to go to college. I'm like, she can do whatever the hell she wants as long as she's happy. And I'm allowing her just to be present and be fully aware, and then letting her experience the things that I'm experiencing, explaining to her how we went from 3 years ago being broke to making financial decisions like we're making today, how we went from, having zero money in the bank account to being able to travel wherever we want. And I share those things with her. I think it's taboo back in the days where it's like, you don't talk about money with your kids. I'm like, I tell them everything. I'm like, listen, this is how much money I made today. And they're like, what? And I'm like, this money is just a frequency. It's just a number, right? And then sometimes I get the shit kicked out of me and I lose some money. I'm like, oh, look how much money I lost this week. They're like, I'm like, yep. Yeah. It's really opening up. And that's so my point behind this, there's a point behind this. Sounds like I'm bragging about my life. Sorry.
I love your life, coach.
My point behind this is what's happening is everything with Linqto is democratizing this, like making it more accessible. Because the banking system used to be, especially if we just watched the TV and then we went into the bank and you went to saw your banker and then you would see the guy in a suit sitting with the specialty banker, right? Oh man. And it just seems so unreachable. It just seems, that's why, I always call it the uncommon 1%. Wealth has a new look, right? I wear what I want, act how I want, do what I want, do all that stuff. And so it's just, that's where we're heading into. And I hope people tap into that higher consciousness, that it's possible for everybody. Somebody at some point said, you know what? This is available just for the 1%, which it's not. It's available for all of us. And somebody at some point in their timeline has to make the decision to be the generational shifter. Somebody that's in a very wealthy status, somebody in their timeline made that decision. Somebody did. Somebody finally said, I'm tired of being poor. Like, I'm going to make a decision. And they either passed that down and someone carried on the torch, right? And so like my grandfather was kind of that person that put that stake in the ground, and it kind of didn't keep moving, and then it made it maybe the flame jumped to me, right? And it's like, so now I'm carrying the torch. And so I think it's just important. That's why I love companies like Linqto, and I'll keep bringing that up. And you see the people that they bring on, the vibrational frequency, because to me, I'm telling you, Ray, this stuff is going to be written in history books, man. I really truly believe that, man.
No, I a couple points to that great the great stories. One, I'm looking at my XRP community poster. It's the 12th edition of the series of basically it's the gentleman. If you go to Stedas, STEDAS.HR, I believe his website, but the gentleman has made posters for the XRP community and members. And so I, submitted my name, which they take your avatar from Twitter, and then I also send in some fellow Team Apollo members and friends that I know are in the community, and so I get to see their face on this wonderful poster. But I almost look at this as like that even these become little records of history. People that all participated as a collective to just revolutionize, the world, starting with the fabric of payments and finance, and it's a wonderful movement, Coach, and I'm so thankful to be a part of it with you, sir. And to your point, just a second ago, it's my dad told us a story over the weekend because we were over swimming in the backyard at their pool with the kids, the grandkids, and him, and he said how he shared the story of how he had went to his father's final day working at RC Cola when he retired. He worked at RC Cola on the factory line for 30 years. Mm-hmm. And so my dad changed his narrative because he's like, I don't want to be, no disrespect to, any plumbers. My dad was a plumber before selling insurance, but he's like, I don't want to be the foreman breaking my back at 50 plus years and doing this. So he's like, he jumped into insurance, developed just, where he's at today, a wonderful, proud portfolio. He's a phenomenal salesman. And so for me, I feel like I'm thankful that he made me, do Taekwondo, play baseball, basketball, football, every sport you can think of. He let me do, like, similar to what you're providing your daughter, is just opportunity to find out what they want to, who they want to be, who they want to become. And so, but in addition, he's also cemented in really hard work, ethics of hard work. And I was doing, like I told in a previous interview, I had every weekend I got up and I had to do yard work. Every Saturday, I'd be doing it with my brother, and my brother was he's an artist, and no disrespect, Ross, if you check this video out later, that he would be the guy that just slacking, not hoeing or picking the weeds, and I'd be a 6-year-old, Ross, come on, hurry up. But anyway, so just a consistent condition of always working hard, do perfection. I mean, perfection is I'm not saying it to be perfect, but I mean, I always strive to make sure all the weeds were picked. There was no weeds left, or, the pool was swept clean, or all the dirt was hoed in the backyard, or whatever, it's just, but all those little that same thought process or it can be applied to any medium, really, so that's who I am today. Is the same 6-year-old that's hoeing the side of the dirt, but now doing it for Linqto and trying to bring as much people into this new era, the new era of finance. I mean, this is, like I've mentioned, Linqto it's got life-changing products and services. It's absolutely changed the trajectory of my life. And so to your point, Coach, for people that are inquisitive, that are asking, how do I become an accredited investor? Shoot, you're miles ahead of where I was. I mean, I didn't even know what an accredited investor was until I was 33 years old. Or 32. I'm 34, so I didn't even know what I basically, out of sight, out of mind. I always just thought I was going to be comfortable with selling business insurance, and then I figured, something triggered me. Call it the beer flu, but that little moment in time, cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, seeing that drive up to 20,000 and just watching it, it's like, okay, there's something going on with technology, and I don't want to miss this wave. I had a really great opportunity to interview Bill Tai. He's a VC, and also I believe he made his money by being an engineer. And he talked about a beautiful metaphor of investing, about and describing it as surfing. Basically catching an investment, like riding a wave, being in front of the wave, getting right prepared for it, and paddling in, and just having the ride of your life. And so I'm not saying that everything's easy as paddling into a wave, but I mean, if you do your due diligence, work hard, prepare yourself, just like it's like, so when luck presents itself, you're ready, or that opportunity presents, you can take advantage of it. And so that's what I'm doing here, and I'm trying to encourage others, because I feel like if you're toying around with cryptocurrencies, or if you're experimenting, you're already playing like a VC in one way or another, with really emerging new vehicles or instruments for investing. So I think this is a way of, like, I'm not saying cryptos are training wheels at all, because if that's the case, I still have them on my bike right now. But but ultimately, I do feel like it's a stepping stone in a way, and a great taste of a bigger game in life. And I love what I'm doing, and I encourage anybody to look into Linqto, to be a part of 3T Warrior Academy, because Coach, I was watching your channels, the AI, Brad Kimes, all you guys, and that's what got me here. So I appreciate everything, sir.
That's amazing. I love that. I want to break down that surfing analogy. If you think about it, like surfing, right? So sometimes you're going to crash. And if it crashes, if there's going to be another swell coming, so you got to get right. So if you crash, you just got to rely. And we're taught, when I was in the surfing the Coast Guard, when you got knocked under a wave, relax. You'll come back up to the surface, chill out, right? And I've been telling people, it's like the tortoise and the hare. I'd much rather be the tortoise. Just slow, steady, methodical. Like I'll never forget the day, and we'll kind of wrap it up now, but I never forget the day I was actually quarantined because of the beer virus. We had a gym, they shut us down. We were trying to open back up. It was December. It was right when the case was thrown out, right? So I got quarantined because somebody in my family got the beer virus. And so I had to quarantine because people are coming into the gym with masks on. I was like, oh my God, it was wild. It was a wild time. Quarantined myself because I was exposed to it. So I was in a freaking hotel room for 14 days. Well, the number one thing is it turned me into a monster, because I meditated for 14 days straight. I literally went monk mode. It was awesome. Well, during that, what broke me out of my meditation was all of a sudden back then everybody had access to my phone and my text messages. And all of a sudden I wake up one day and it's like, what did you get me into? XRP, blah, 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 blah. They threw out a case. And I just said, I was in this super heavy meditative state. And I said, I'm holding on like a tick on a dog.
Yep.
All I said, I ain't going nowhere. Whatever's guide says to stay put. And so I did a YouTube video. I said, I ain't going nowhere. I get on my Warrior Academy. I said, I'm not going anywhere. I'm holding long-term. This is all by design. In my opinion, it was all by design. And then that's what my whole platform exploded after that. Because I was like, well, let me just see why this is happening. I started to research players in the game that were moving around. And I'm like, and this is nothing new under the sun. This happens all the time. The only difference is now you have people who have access to the internet that can do research now, right? We can now research stuff, and we can see where people move to. We can see their investments in real time. We can see all this stuff. Nobody had access to that. And here's a true fact, that our attention span for human beings is lower than goldfish now. 5 seconds. So in the 1980s,
what'd you say, Coach? What'd you say?
Like in the 1980s, 30 minutes, man. You're sitting there watching TV and you can hold a 30-minute show, right? Now it's like, so they know, like, whoever they are, whatever it is, it's like, as long as we can keep distracted. So it's about taking a deep breath. Just get out of that get rich quick. A lot of people are new to crypto here. Get out of that get rich quick mentality. Get in some investments, hold it long term, create cash flow. And don't tell me you can't create cash flow. Cut out energy drinks, coffee. There's so many things you can do. Stop eating out. Eat rice and beans for 90 days. Your spouse probably won't enjoy you, or your partner. Seriously, I humbled myself. I moved on my parents' couch. I said, can I just, my kids moved into, I was like, listen, can you just help me out just for a little bit? I promise you this will never happen again. Just give me. And I started doing the Gary V flipping strategy. And I was like, and then I realized, man, there is money everywhere. I cut out all my frivolous spending. I stopped going on trips. Every dime I made, I invested. Changed my life. And so now that mentality is there. So anytime I'm making some financial decisions, cash flow is a little low right now, I'm like, I need this much cash. I just put it in the quantum field, and then I just keep moving forward. And it will work. So appreciate it. And the story of your father too, it's so cool. And the different paradigms too with your brother, right? It's like, people respond differently to different experiences, but the experiences, that's what's cool about this. Like, that's what I love about the XRP community. It's like, I never been around anybody that's like, oh, F this crypto or F this crypto. It's always just like, dude, let's move forward, man. Let's make this the greatest time in human history. But I know we've chatted a lot. So
let's keep going, coach.
I love it. So if we go to, remember, if you guys go to Linqto, the link will be in the description down below on this video. You can get into Blockdaemon, Figment. There's many other companies out there. So there's companies in the fitness industry. So make sure you go through there and then look at market insights down on the bottom. It's one of my favorite parts. Go ahead.
Yeah, to your point, the fitness. I'm wearing one of our portfolio companies' products, Whoop. So Whoop, WHOOP. I mean, this tool, can track your recovery times, provides you actionable data on sleep and all that fun stuff, so you can hone in on what's working and what's not. If you're, an enthusiast of any particular sport. Some of these players and athletes that use this are professional Olympians, golfers. D for all the above. And so me, I just seeing that they were on our platform, I wanted to learn more about it, and the best way to do it is to get one of their products. And so one more thing before we go is, Coach, me personally, is all the products that, and this could be applied to, off the platform as well as, and just strictly for an investing thesis, is me, I not only do I look into the management team, the executive team, and all that fun stuff, but do I trust and use their products? And so for me, it's I'm invested into many of the companies that are on our platform specifically, even including Linqto itself, because they're the ones, the bridge that's helping me get to these products. And so it's like there's a lot to be said. Is do you trust the executive team, the products, or are you a believer? And if so, why not invest in a company and support them with your dry powder? And that was my philosophy. But anyways, Coach, this was a really great time. I really appreciate us getting online and chatting like this.
I love it too, like that Warren Buffett model, right? He likes he invests in things that, let's say more Shaq model, right? Have you heard Shaq's model? Where he's like, he loves the places.
Yes.
That's where he invests. He's like, he loves pizza, so he bought Papa John's. Like, it's crazy. He's like, his investment, I think it's Cinnabon or something like that in the mall. Wetzel pretzels. Like, he goes, the stuff that I eat, man, I buy. And he's like, because if I like it, I buy it. I'm like, that's so cool, because it's just cool investment strategy. I'm like, wow, it's true, right? And so, like, when people hear me talking about, people are like, you must be paid by a XRP or I'm like, I invest in it. In it. I love it. And I love when I heard, I know we're going over a little bit, but then when I heard XR, I remember somebody walked in, this guy named Jay Bills. He walked in and he goes, hey, have you heard of XRP? And I had just read the 5 coins to 5 million with Tika Tori, and that's how I got into crypto. And I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. And then I was like, wait a minute. Then he showed me XRP, and I saw some first video of Phoenix rising from the ashes. I started listening to Bearable Bull, and I was looking at this stuff, and I'm like, what? I'm like, why don't banks use this? Because I am banking, and I went through CBA executive to scale banks, and I'm like, why aren't all banks? I was perplexed. I'm like, why aren't they all using it? Then I started to realize that a lot of banks are getting in distributed ledger technology, R3, consensus. I was like, okay, there's something going on here.
Maybe they are, and they're just not talking about it. Maybe there's NDAs. You don't know. Who knows?
Sure there's plenty. Yeah, there is some NDAs out there. They are in it, and they're in it to win it. And it's not. And again, too, you brought up something important. Is it that they're being sneaky, or sometimes there's NDA, non-disclosures? Like, there's just certain. So, for example, I have stuff that my team, I can't talk about right now, that we are launching, because the team will be so pissed at me if I talk about it, because we're building the infrastructure right now and it's too early. And sometimes if you bring stuff up, we're not ready, we're testing, we're building. And it's like, I have a propensity of getting excited and sharing, right? And so it's like, they're like, JB, shh, this one, no. Come on, man, let me say something. It's like, because there's things to running. We run multiple companies. Me and Jeremy have equity in 8 companies, and it's like,
man, it was so good to see Jeremy and your team at Apex. Please tell them I say hi.
Yeah, we love you guys. We appreciate you guys. As we always say, Warriors. Get your shit.
Love you mucho, Coach. Thank you.
Love you, brother.